What's up, everybody? I'm Zach Witovich.
What's up, everybody? I'm Charley Birtwhistle.
I thought you were going to say I'm Zach Witovich.
No, I would never in my deepest, darkest nightmares say that.
Yeah, everybody, welcome back. It's another episode of the Building Code. Really excited to be here.
We're in a little silly mood today.
We are. It might buckle up, everybody.
We're in a pretty exciting episode. It's Friday afternoon. It's beautiful. And we have some exciting guests. The first ever father-daughter duo on the Building Code.
Wow.
Coming right up, we got Gregg and Rachel Cantor from Murray Lampert. It's a fourth generation company around since 1975. So very, very excited to get them in here and hear about how they've evolved from what, the process is and technology they used to use to now Rachel and her father, Gregg, kind of taking things over and taking them to the next generation. I think it'll be fantastic.
Did you say 1975?
Yeah, I did say
Great
1975. Yeah, so I've been told.
All right, enough of the silliness. Let's get them in here. Gregg and Rachel, thanks for coming to the Building Code. Welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourselves and how'd you get started in construction?
Well, thank you for having us. This is really an exciting opportunity to be with Buildertrend on the Building Code show. I started out in the ranks of doing cleanup on job sites. That was like in the late 70s. And after college, I really dove into the business as an assistant superintendent. And I learned everything from the ground up, following trades around, getting to know inspectors, learning how to read plans. And in the field is where I learned construction.
Rachel, how about you?
Well, I guess there's a couple different levels of when I really got into the business. So I started answering the phones the summer before high school, I think it was. And so that's where I first started. If you don't count when after school I would come after work and I would play and build floor plans of Lego floor plans on the ground in the office as a kid. So we won't count that. And then I went to architecture school. And came back, and the rest is history.
And she graduated from Miami of Ohio in architecture.
Oh, very cool.
Very similar to San Diego.
Oh, yeah.
For the listeners, we teased it a little bit in the intro, but you guys are a father-daughter combo, which is really, really awesome to see. And also a fourth-generation company. Around
Correct.
Since 1975, like you had mentioned, Gregg. Could you tell us a little bit more about the company and kind of how it's gotten passed down over the years and maybe how it's evolved a little bit?
Sure. So Murray Lampert was my grandfather, Rachel's great-grandfather. He founded the company in 1975. And in 1990, around the time I got married to my wife, Lisa Cantor, who is our CFO, we bought the business from my grandfather and he retired. Fast forward to the fourth generation, Rachel Walker, formerly Rachel Cantor. She just got married, so you can congratulate her for that.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Fast forward to Rachel. What year did you come on full-time after architecture school?
So 2013, 14, something like 2014, I think.
Gotcha.
So we're truly 4 generations, me being 3 and Rachel being 4.
Yeah. And a funny little story is when you joined Dad, it was you brought on the fax machine, right?
Right.
And then I'm pretty sure I was the one who tossed out the fax machine. So
there you go. The circle of life.
It takes about 4 generations.
Yeah.
But we are similar in that we always have pushed technology, and my first technology was a fax machine, and now we're doing LiDAR and drones and full color rendering.
So maybe like the Buildertrend mantra has to be, don't be the fax machine, like constantly innovate. Don't end up like the fax machine there. So Rachel, I'm interested to hear from your point of view of just what is the dynamic of working with your father, but also working in, a very large, successful construction organization.
Yeah, so it works, I think, very nicely for our customers who are families. We work with people who own their single family homes, for the most part, single family homes. And we can relate to them because we're a family as well. And so I feel like it feels a little bit more natural and relatable for them when we go out, because we actually go out on initial appointments even still. We have project consultants, but we still go out often, weekly. And sometimes we even forget to make that connection early on that we're father-daughter, and I'm, brushing drywall dust off of his shirt, and we're talking, clearly they're like, wait, what's going on? And we go, oh, wait, sorry, father-daughter. We actually lived down the street from here when I was growing up, or, we'll say in our family home, this is what we did. And, I think that that's not something that everyone can do, is just, talk about it in terms of a family.
And it's a big investment, and people are really, they have a lot of fear about sales and high pressure, and we're the unsales people, and that's what's really nice. I mean, it's fun to go out together, go with my daughter and just talk to people and hear what their needs are, and just be transparent and in a educational, informative manner, not in a salesy manner.
Yeah, Greg. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask what it's like having your daughter, help out with your business. I mean, I think that's probably an incredible experience for you.
It's great because she brought in youth and ideas and challenges me, and I think I challenge her at times. And also coming into the business with my grandfather was a totally different thing, and it was difficult for me. I wasn't accepted very easily, and I had to kind of push my way in and prove my worth, and didn't get a lot of guidance from my grandfather, and he was very thick-skulled about changes, and I'm not like that.
The fax machine.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I vowed to let Rachel, try things and not be closed-minded about change. And we've changed a lot. We've excelled a lot. Our staff is much more diverse, and our system just keeps getting better.
That's incredible. Rachel, before I rudely cut you off, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, with our customers, we actually are more and more with ADUs and these sort of generational properties. We're working with multi-generation situations. And so that also is very relatable because we are multi-generation. And, to continue on what my dad's track is he learning from him and learning with him is very unique. He is so open to change more than what's normal. I mean, he's not stuck in his ways, and that makes it so that we are able to grow and evolve, and especially with technology. I think you're even more in front of things than even us millennials are.
Maybe.
I think you stand out in that way. So the culture is all the way through and through. We're very unified with the direction, especially with technology and staying at the forefront, and utilizing Buildertrend.
What a great segue to go into Buildertrend.
Yeah. It's funny. Charlie was always like, we don't want to be too salesy on the building code.
No.
Like you, Greg, you like to be consultative and educational, and that's all part of the brand. I think you are the first father-daughter team on the building code that we've had. I've only met a handful of family-run construction businesses in my time. I've met my fair share, but I think you're the first father-daughter that I can think of. Do you know of any others that are doing this?
No.
Maybe on HGTV or
something. That's really what I'm getting to.
Yeah.
This just has...
I don't really know of any, and it's a tough business, and to have family in it.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but we get along well, and we have fun. And our team culture, just Rachel can talk about it in the mornings. We have a kitchen in our suite, and everyone congregates in the morning like a family.
Oh,
yeah, it was actually
cool.
it was really cute. One of our project consultants, his son came in. I don't remember the circumstances, but he was hanging out that day, and we were all in the kitchen, and someone said, "Oh, we're out of the soy milk," and someone else handed someone else the "Oh, here's the sugar," and everyone's just chatting about the day, and he was just like, "This is like a family. This is so cool. I want to go to work," and we're like, "All right, well, it's not all just coffee talk at the counter, but it does feel like a family, especially in the mornings when we're all getting our day going together."
Yeah, absolutely. So I was doing a little bit of research on your website before, but I actually don't think we've talked a whole lot about Murray Lampert, the company itself. So you mentioned you guys are design, build, remodeling. Are you just kind of transitioning to ADUs? Have you done that for a while? Or could you just kind of give us the overview of maybe how many employees you have and kind of what type of work you do?
So luckily we got on the ADUs, and I'll talk about that really quick first, is we got in front of that early, and I have a lot of longtime contacts with the city of San Diego. So I was kind of like in the know on these code changes and got educated and up to speed. And actually, I did a radio show and TV show that was about home improvement, and I had some of the folks from the city, we interviewed them early on when ADUs started out. So we've really embraced that. And like Rachel said, it's multi-generational a lot of times. It's very custom, and we're good at it. So, and we enjoy those type of jobs. We enjoy working with families. But as far as our business, we are truly design build. I mean, some companies say design build, but they farm out the design. We have an architect on staff and architectural team. We even have a drone pilot on staff. We have an interior design department and project management of 5 people now. 6?
7.
7? So I lose track
every day.
But so we're at 24 total staff.
Wow.
So that's made up of admin, architectural, interior, PMs, and project consultants.
Wow. All in-house too is, extremely impressive.
Very unique.
And the ADUs, I actually think, so Zach and I have been doing the podcast here for a couple years now, and one of our first ever was with a ADU builder out in San Diego. And I remember being fascinated and thinking I need to get one of those at my house in Nebraska here. So if you guys are ever in the area and want to do some free work,
He's been trying to, speaking of bringing in, people to Omaha to come, build. Charlie's always trying to get a sweet deal. He's like, if you guys are in the neighborhood.
Well, yeah. I mean, Zach and I we're fortunate enough to talk with like the best construction professionals across the U.S. Like this is such a cool job. So, toss some stuff out and shoot for a house, and I'll settle for like a T-shirt.
He's 0 for 90, in case you're wondering his conversion rate.
Well, so Rachel and my wife Lisa went to Omaha last year for training.
That's what I thought.
So maybe you can invite us out again and show us the town, and we'll build you an ADU.
Oh my gosh! All
Deal.
Right, now it's getting real.
Deal.
At least a T-shirt.
Yeah, that would work too.
There's a big difference on that from a price range standpoint, but he'll take that too. He'll take the T-shirt.
2 T-shirts.
Okay, I like it. Oh gosh, you guys are great. You'd mentioned a couple different things I want to circle back on. One was the number of employees you had, and Greg, you also mentioned Rachel bringing in some more diverse hires than you kind of maybe typically had. How do you guys go about finding such great people? You mentioned how fast you're scaling, and then also just ensure that they continue to be engaged and happy and keep that kind of family culture like you mentioned.
Well, we've really developed a good process of finding talent. Some of it's by word of mouth. I feel like, and Rachel could speak to this, it's also kind of known in the industry that this is a good working environment. So we've had people actually reach out to us that are interested. But it is a little bit of a challenging market to find talent. But we've developed a process of screening and really, it's the personalities and the culture is number one, doing the right thing. And then we're willing to train, if we need to train someone up, we will. But we would rather have that than, recycling somebody from somewhere else.
Yeah. And we have Yeah, a lot of connections from our vendors and trade partners and relationships. Like yesterday, I got a message from one of our plumbers saying, this guy's going to be looking soon. You got to call him. Like, get him. He's going to be gone soon. Like, you have to jump on this, So that's always great to hear when they're suggesting us to their buddies. And even within this team, there's actually some interwoven connections. One of our lead interior designer, we grew up together, and we actually we had similar friends in common, but we didn't really know each other. And eventually, after following her for a couple of years on social media, just keeping an eye on her, thinking that at some point we'd cross paths, I picked up the phone and gave her a call. And then even not connections with us, but the team has connections. Our drone pilot and another team member have been close friends for years. We have some family members who are here. So it's nice that they have these connections that they bring here, and it expands the web, and it feels very cohesive.
Well, and what is really cool to me is too that we're pretty much split down the middle with male and female, right?
Yeah, I haven't counted, but
it's pretty even.
Which even for construction, I mean, definitely anything in the 70-30 is
right.
Unique. I mean, it's I've always found going to people's offices that there's a lot of stereotypes on that side of it, but 50-50 is something to be really proud of in the office. Yeah. One thing we wanted to ask about too, just kind of when we talk about your operations, is you obviously have moved on from the fax machine and you've embraced technology, but what was it like before Buildertrend, and how did you go about? I assume you didn't just like rip out the fax machine and say we're using Buildertrend. Like, what's the journey of how you've kind of adapted your technology?
Well, we were spreadsheets and Word documents, and we had a database that we didn't really use to its fullest. It was a lot more paper. I mean, we always had a system. Costing was on an Excel spreadsheet, but we finally decided to embrace Buildertrend, and that really it took work, but that really revolutionized our whole service and our approach to even how much we can show customers that happens behind the scenes, not just on the job site.
Yeah. Well, I think how many years have we been working with Buildertrend?
Probably 9 or 10 years.
9 or 10 years, which is about, I think, when I started full time. And we were really scratching the surface at first. Really just I would say the daily logs was the first thing we started using. And then as Buildertrend evolved and we evolved, we started adopting the tools that were already there bit by bit. And then as there more tools, we had some catch up to do, then more tools have always been coming out. And we're always, now that we've caught up, we're always looking at what's new, what's fresh, testing it out. And they're all connected, all the tools, it feels like. So you get one, you master one, and then you're like, well, now it's linked to this other thing. And now we're going to teach the team how to utilize this next tool. And it sounds like integrations and things like that are continuing to grow, and that's really exciting to us.
Well, we shared with Nick, the VP of customer experience, when he was here last week. What we shared is just that there needs to be a cheerleader or two. Actually, we had a cheerleader starting out for Buildertrend, and then Rachel became like kind of the lead
champion, as they call it, I believe, at Buildertrend.
The BT champion, yeah.
Yeah.
But you got to get buy-in. Once you get everyone to buy in, then it's just super powerful.
And the culture of the team, it's important that the people that we have here and we bring on are people who are about technology and change and staying fresh. And so that's something that as we develop this further, the people who stuck around, the right fit for where we were headed, were the people with that same mindset.
Yeah, it's funny because I think that's kind of a universal business problem, is to instigate improvements. It takes someone who is rallying the flag, and even internally, like I have a tool that I'm kind of notorious for championing. Charlie's laughing because he's like, this guy.
No, I was going to bring it up. I was going to bring it up too. Yeah.
It's a thing, right? Like once you get one person, you can start to evangelize it. You start getting one more and another. And like, it really does take that person who's committed to it. And in construction, who are committed to their fax machines. It can be a dramatic change. Like that Excel spreadsheet got you where you're at. It's scary.
Right. Mm-hmm. But what the other thing I love is just to be able to, when we go out and talk to customers, prospects, we tell them about, and we show them actually on our iPad, the portal. And I say often just that we're taking you behind the curtain on what's happening on your project, which wasn't the way construction and remodeling was in the past.
Yeah.
So they just see what's going on the job site. Sometimes there's just only incidental changes in a day. But if they go to the daily logs, they can see everything, because we have multiple people working on, in the background.
Well, and I even heard from a little bird named Nick that you actually even create your own customer journeys. You have maps for what you want your customers to go through. He asked that I bring it up. That's pretty special. I don't think I've ever seen builders have journeys mapped out for their customers. Not to put you on the spot, but I mean, it just shows the level of care.
It's totally cool. And it kind of started out, it paired up because I don't know if you've heard of the Zen master, Zen builder, Ed Earl, that name sounds familiar.
It does.
But he has a roadmap of the customer experience, how they're feeling at different phases of the project. So what we did is we took and developed 3 personas of our core customers, and we're lining that up with that journey. And so that we can try to, in the times that we know it's challenging for customers because their house is torn up, we give them a little lift and communicate differently and just really be able to speak to their needs. So we just finished, we have 3 personas, and now we're going to roll it out to our company, and we're going to try to have some like built-in checkpoints so that all hands are on deck, and not every customer's personality is the same. And and Rachel and I, when we go out on calls, we walk out to the car and say, you know what, this is whatever the name is, we have 3 different names, but we know right away the personality because we're prepared, and it's great tools.
It really is. That's amazing. It's just applicable to the things that matter to come to like a great experience. What enables us to do that and internally is our tooling too, right? Like eliminating inefficiencies so you can be there at the right times, make sure you have the right checkpoints, eliminate friction. It all matters to having like the great experience for your customer, who then they tell their friends about it. It creates new business for you. It's this effect of other people really celebrating what you've built because you've put the thought and care into it. So kudos to you guys. That's awesome.
Well, thank you. And I also have to give Rachel credit, besides just getting Buildertrend to the next level, but being open to communicate and be more transparent with customers, because that's what they want. And we have a much younger base of clientele now, and they want to see more. They want to know why. They want to know, like, sometimes the nuts and bolts. And so we will explain that.
Yeah, which is a little scary to open. With the pandemic, we were already using a lot of the tools, and we started to, this is maybe the place where we should start to open things up a little bit. And the first thing went well, so we're like, all right, maybe we should keep going. All right, we're going to open up the next thing, and it's, knock on wood, it's gone really well.
Yeah.
Do you remember what it was like the first time when you started like the project? You're like, okay, we're going to show them the Buildertrend portal, or maybe you have other ways that you're being transparent.
Because it used to be, we would open it up at construction. When we started to open up, we didn't open up everything. It took us some years before we were opening up anything, actually.
Because we were scared, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Heard a lot.
Well, and it was mostly just that we wanted everything figured out on our side. Coordinating with multiple project managers and multiple team members. We wanted to have it fleshed out, figured out before we then took the customers on a roller coaster with us. We wanted to make sure that we rode it a few times. So it used to be at construction, we would open it up, and then we actually now open it up at design development. So the second really that they start to work with us in the design phase from the very beginning when they've committed to us, we open it up and we share. This was another scary thing, was sharing drawings, sharing renderings, sharing concepts, extending this trust, hoping that they trust us and we trust each other, and that, there's always that fear, will they go somewhere else? And, we feel like we give enough information and we develop that relationship and give them really everything we can, and they really don't go elsewhere because they're just like, we get everything here. Why would we go somewhere else?
Well, and I have to say, Rachel taught me that, because that was one thing that I had some discomfort about. And I think if you talk to most designers and builders, they hold on to those assets. But here's the thing is, it's a leap of faith for us and for the customer. So if we're sharing all the work product, and we've vetted a customer that we want to work with and they've vetted us, then the chances of it going sideways are slim. And so you lose a few once in a while, but the upside is much greater.
Right. So I think what's really interesting and what I like to hear your perspective on, you mentioned kind of your customer journey and how you view that. Something that we're constantly iterating on here at Buildertrend is our customer's journey and what features they should adopt first and how to get onboarded and things of that nature. So if you were a customer success coach at Buildertrend and you're onboarding a new Buildertrend user, what kind of advice would you give them on, here's how you start rolling things out, here's how you get team buy-in? And Nick, who I hate to give shout outs to on the podcast because I don't think he listens to it, but if he does listen to this one, he was very complimentary of you guys on his visit. How do you get people up to, kind of the super users like you guys are?
Well, I think you have to have a good roadmap and have things templated out and have things in place, like the back end stuff, to get it all built out, at least the portions you're going to open up to start. But then you need to get your staff, rally your staff and get everybody's buy-in, not just say, here, you're going to use this. Get input, hear what the pain points are from people, adapt, and just be inclusive. And if you have all your team buy-in, then people will use it and they'll be responsible and they'll keep things up to date. And then the customer benefits from it. And we do at the, second.
Yeah, I think it all starts with why. I think if they understand why something's important, then they're more likely to run with the tools, because they don't just think it's just because, they get the big picture, hopefully. And maybe they can't get the whole picture, but they get that part of the big picture. And the more that you can have them understand each bit, then they start to see the big picture too. And yeah, I would say that we turned a corner when we had our leadership team understanding why, so then they could continue the mission to their teams on why. And something that, we talked about with Nick, Nick again, was that
we can cut this part.
Having us, particularly having your champion connected and understanding kind of the mission of Buildertrend is really important, because I know there's been times where I like it. We make change really fast here. Sometimes it's a little too fast for everyone to hang on, and so we need to not go that fast always. But you guys move really fast. Buildertrend moves really fast and makes changes really fast. And after going to Nebraska and really understanding the values and the mission and how things operate, I get it. and I appreciate it. And I'm able to then also, when they're getting frustrated, oh, this changed, and like I don't like change, and I don't like that it changed this way. Why did they do this? Whatever. And I'm like, hold on, you know that they always come through. This might be, by tomorrow it's going to be worked out. They take the feedback we give them. We've seen it. We've had some feedback and then seen the adjustments occur pretty quickly, which again, I really like. So you need the champion to also be in touch and sharing the message so that it carries all the way through.
The other thing I would add too is I feel like now our staff all see the value in so many different ways of Buildertrend, such as, we have a finished job that is in warranty and we get a warranty call and we can refer back to photos and see what's inside walls. And we have great documentation. And on jobs that are in construction, the ability to collaborate and share photos. And sometimes we're together. I mean, we meet once a week as a team to go over jobs, but sometimes someone's in the field, someone's in the office, and we can collaborate with the posts and the photos and videos, and it just really is efficient.
All right, we'll stop the Buildertrend sales pitch.
Yeah.
Put it on Twitter.
Yeah,
here we go.
Perfect.
Thanks, guys. Well, this has been an incredible conversation. Really, really a pleasure to talk with you about your business strategy and the way you use the software. And you just seem like an amazing family that, if I'm ever in San Diego, I want to live there. Get a
we're
sweetheart
thankful
deal.
too for Buildertrend because we're really feeling the support and you're including us in, being a beta tester, and Nick listening to some of our pain points and trying to help us, navigate through this. It just feels really good for us as well.
That's amazing to hear. Well, we love our customers, so you're welcome officially from Buildertrend, from the Building Code. You're always welcome back. We'd love to have
absolutely.
Thank you. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Mr. Burtwhistle, what'd you think?
Well, Zach, as always, I thought that was a fantastic interview. I think we need to go out to San Diego and spend a couple days with them, with our good friend Nick did.
Well, first off, let's talk about that. They sent Nick before even you. Everybody's getting trips before you.
Yeah, that one's a tough one. And then he made a whole week of it. He took his wife out there.
Oh my goodness! Not to dwell. I didn't know that part.
Disguised it as a customer visit.
You did get an in. They're going to come to Omaha and get you an ADU, like that thing, a T-shirt at the minimum.
Or a T-shirt. Yeah,
you're big on the T-shirts.
Yeah. No, I in all seriousness, I get why Nick was so excited about visiting them and why we got them on the Building Code. I think that what they stand for and how they operate not only is how other construction companies should look like, but just how other companies in general look like. Like they're talking about user personas and customer journeys and stuff that Zach and I talk about on the daily here at Buildertrend. I always am fascinated by the similarities that we have with our customers and their businesses and our businesses. And I wasn't fascinated by the similarities. I'd say I was more so impressed by the similarities this episode. Yeah,
and innovators, they're really pushing the boundaries, and I loved our dialogue about how they have really adopted technology, and Gregg is a huge part of that, and he's been in the industry for a long time. It just shows you that there's a lot of people out there that kind of see the waves of change coming. It's really, really exciting to kind of pick their brains about that. It's kind of fun to see families working together and really growing together. My own sister-in-law actually works at Buildertrend, right? You met your fiance at Buildertrend. There's all these familiar connections. It connects you to the whole experience. So really awesome episode. Great people. Thank you for joining us. And I think that's about all the time we have today.
That's about it. As always, like the podcast, review the podcast, and subscribe to the podcast.
And crowdfund Charley's building projects.
Yeah, that works too. We should get a GoFundMe started to get me out somewhere.
We clearly are
just
paying
travel out of Omaha.
We told you we were going to be silly. I'm Zach Witovich.
I'm Charley Burtwhistle.
We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching the video. Remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel for exclusive content brought to you by Buildertrend.